Hey guys, undoubtedly at this point you've figured out that you can control the volume of each individual track by using this little knob over here. And you might also have figured out that when you're in the instrument view, so I'm clicking on this region right here. In fact, let's use my steel drum track. Okay, I recorded this today. If I show instrument, and you can see that there's a volume here on the right hand side. So I could control the individual volume of that track with this knob. But there are other ways to control volume as well. And one thing I've been mentioning all along to you in class is that we have this 9-bar section of we used a toy bell effect, right? So we've got this great effect, but it does hang over a little bit at the end. The 9th bar right here hangs over and sort of stops abruptly. It does have a little bit of echo there, but we can fade that out. And if we were doing this in a live concert, we could do that manually by, like, with our fingers twisting the volume knob down, or using a sliding volume pot, sometimes they're called. But we can actually program the volume to turn down there. I'm going to show you where that's found. So on every track, on all the tracks listed on the left-hand side, there's this 3-dot menu thing. And just underneath that is this little squiggle line, okay? And that's the automation menu. And what we're going to do is learn how to automate volume. So this line represents the amount of volume that is assigned right now at the beginning of the track to this sound. And I think it's pretty well balanced. But what we can do to change that, like if we want to turn the volume down here, we click on this line, which creates a little handle. And that is going to be the beginning of wherever we want the sound to start. Now you can drag that around. That's pretty easy to do. And if it's not placing itself in a fine enough location, you can increase your zoom, and then you'll be able to figure it out. It likes to snap to the lines, really, that you can see here on the screen. So wherever you want to put that. I just want to fade out this last note right here. And so all that means is that at the end of this note, and really maybe like about here, I'm going to place another handle, and I'm just going to drag that down, and you'll be able to hear the volume of that fade out. Now, I do have a second copy of this. Remember, I set up that interesting manual delay. So to make the volume of everything happen, I'm going to have to also fade this one down as well. So I'm just going to copy my settings there. You can see that's just about parallel. And hit save here, and you should be able to hear a pretty definitive difference. And it would be helpful if I would unmute this. So check this out. And it kind of blends away, which is great. Now my sleigh bells feel a little bit loud. And that's this merged file right here. And I can turn those down ultimately, but I might also want to match that fade with the sleigh bells since they move into the same region here. So again, just under this 3-dot menu is going to be that little squiggle line. It looks like a sound wave, really. Click on automation and volume, and we're going to add a handle to just about the same places, just sort of visually matching them up here, and that should create a nice quality sound. Let's just isolate these sounds. I'm going to solo these so you can really hear the difference. And maybe it's the most pronounced on the sleigh bells. But that's volume automation, and that's how they would do it in the big leagues in the studio. Now, you don't have to look at this part of the menu if you don't want to. You can hide that by clicking on that little squiggle line, but your volume automation remains. You can actually see that there's like a little line right there. Now, I am going to set you up for success here. That programs the volume to be set very low for the rest of the track. So at some point, if you do this, you're going to have to go back into those automation menus, and you're going to have to create handles. And there's nothing on this track right now, so it would be fine if I added a handle. I'm just going to zoom into this track here. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong one. Okay, so forgive me, but I can create a handle right here and another one that brings the volume back up to approximately where it was before. And I can sort of copy my setting from earlier. Here, let's click on this track now, and we'll find the automation here. and just imitate all of the settings. And again, the reason I'm doing this is because it's a linear action, and so you can see when I move the volume on the right hand side down, it maintains that level of volume for everything afterwards. Okay, so if I wanted to do this again, I should be doing it on my sleigh bell track, because otherwise my sleigh bells won't be heard here. You can see the volume is essentially at 0, and so I'll just program that in. And then again, you can see I kind of line that up with measure 73 and approximately beat 2 of measure 74, and I just bring that down gradually. You can hear it one more time. And it fades out nicely. So just once again, we are going to have to go to the end of the track where those sounds come back in, and I'm going to have to automate them all over again, just to make sure. And again, I'm sort of randomly, a little bit arbitrarily choosing points to have the volume placed. And I'm just going to maintain my volume setting here. You can see this is pretty quick work. In a professional studio, this would be done almost all of the time. Tracks are automated. Sometimes pop songs have hundreds of tracks, and it's quite a job to do this. But one last thing here is, I don't know if you can see this way down at the bottom. This is my steel drum track here, and I played just beyond the end of the song here. So what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to visit this, and I'm going to do some fades on my melody track, and I'm also going to add fades to the end here that probably last about 4 measures. I'll show you what that looks like really quickly. Here's my drum beat. And so like maybe this is the last 4 measures starting around here, or that's actually the last 6 measures. But maybe right around here, I'll just automate this so that it fades out, and I'll just match that on all the other tracks. And so if you were to listen to just the drum track here, I'll just fast forward. Quick fade to silence. It'll sound nice and sophisticated. Okay, so that's automating volume.